So, a much overdue roundup on masks. So, as you know, if you've watched my previous mask video about Viri mask and the Sienna eyeglasses, I'm a bit of an obsessive about masks. So I can assure you that I've done a lot of reading. I've read all the relevant papers and articles, and I will put some links, the key links, in the description below. So first I started out with the VOG mask, VOG mask, as you can see here. The problem I've learnt recently, I like this mask a lot, is the two-way valve. The two-way valve it protects other people, but it does not protect you. So when you breathe in, the two-way valve allows the horrid COVID virus through what is otherwise a good mask. So if you go for VOG masks, which are popular and well established, they're great, but don't get the ones with the valves, get the valveless ones. Then I decided to try and patronise and support some almost homegrown product. So I went with the New Zealand designed option called the MEO, MEO. This has a different technology in that it just straps up around the back in one position. So there's just the one strap. You can see where I've had to stick some cushioning material here because it was aggravating my nose. So the MEO has a fundamental problem. It's very substantial, but because it only straps around the back, there is no seal where you need it at the nose. There is nothing to hold that on to your nose. So I cannot recommend the MEO. Then you go very briefly for the top of the range, which is only about the same price, so it's $60. The Viri mask out of Israel. I don't know why, but Israel seems to be leading the game in mask production. Now, this is the definitive mask. There is no doubt about it. This has the best combined full face covering with a actual seal. You can see more about it in my previous video. You cannot get better than this. The problem are twofold. They claim that the mask doesn't fog up, but I find that it does. Or rather, your glasses, if you manage to get glasses put in there inside that don't stop the seal, which you can do, that those glasses will fog up. And the second thing is, if you're like me and have a pre-existing health condition, in my case a heart condition, so you're not super fit and you can't breathe well, then this does have an effect. You know you've got it on. You don't feel a free intake, a completely free intake of breath. You have to breathe a bit harder, and thus for long periods of time I cannot unfortunately recommend it unless you're fit and healthy, in which case this, and not myopic, in which case this is the best mask you're going to get. This is state of the art, better than is used by medical and military personnel currently. If you do suffer from short-sightedness or long-sightedness or a combination, you can have optical lenses fitted inside the mask, just in the same way that opticians will fit you with optical lenses inside a dive mask. So you do have that option. So that obstacle can be resolved, but that adds extra expense. So I personally would only use the Viri mask if I was going in an extremely crowded situation, like on a crowded train or tram or bus, and then it would be at the cost of not being able to see what I was doing because of not being able to wear my glasses because they won't fit inside it, and also in winter time the glasses would steam up. So great for the perfectly sighted and perfectly fit. In passing, I'll just make another reminder of the Ziena, Z-I-E-A-N-A. Oh, sorry, Z-I-E-N-A glasses. These are standard optical glasses. You can get them made in your own prescription, but they have a full seal around them. So, they also have, most importantly, a lens in called Optifog, which you can get put in any glasses. Optifog lenses are brilliant. They do not steam up, mist up when it's cold weather. So they do not fog up. So Optifog lenses, great. Ziena glasses, great, because they have this easily removable plastic surround that creates an almost complete seal, stops the virus from getting into your eyes, which is the other way that you can contract it. So I would highly recommend those. Now, some new inclusions in the canon, again out of Israel. Israel seems tremendously good at this. Don't know whether it's because of their militaristic history. So, Sonovia, S-O-N-O-V-I-A, Sonovia mask. So, the first one I tried has the standard ear fitting that you can tighten. And given that I've got a beard, which is counterindicated for a perfect seal, that's a pretty comfortable and effective seal. But what they do that's even better, they produce a version with headbands. So instead of attaching around the ears, which pulls your ears forward and makes you look like something out of Lord of the Rings, this one fits behind your head, and then it has an inbuilt thin piece of metal that you can bend down onto the face. And as you can see, my regular glasses are already steaming up, because they do. But if I add the Ziena glasses, they will not steam up, and I have the perfect combination. Now, the only question mark against the Sonomask by Sonovia is that they are basing your safety on a different principle. So the weave of their masks is very porous. So it's not such a tight weave as the other companies. So more air passes through. So the advantage of this is that you can breathe easily. It does not impair your breathing. It's like you haven't got it on. But does that mean it's more dangerous? They say no, and they say they've got the tests to prove it, because they are one of the few people, there are two companies doing it, who are using a special coating, which is a zinc oxide sono-finishing technology. Zinc oxide is actually antiviral, has antiviral properties. So they claim that in their own laboratory tests that the coating, the zinc oxide coating, will actually kill a SARS-type virus. Though whether I presume that they do not have access to coronavirus to actually test it on that, but they've used a similar virus load, viral material. So for me, with an underlying heart condition and difficulty breathing, if my intake of air is restricted, this is a great compromise. So unless I'm going in an extremely crowded situation, then the Sonomask by Sonovia is the best.